into a next phase where we have taken the vision of the cores and we're beginning to operationalize it. We have a small writing group that's made up of core members that we want to recognize. They've committed to seeing this work moving forward and are meeting with us over the next 3 to 4 months to really operationalize, develop a plan, and start looking for money to fund it. So I would like to recognize Angel Bordon with the Hospital Association, Mata Crawford, community leader, Stephen Ferrafino with DSS, Ann Gowdy, Eastern Carolina Housing Organization, but maybe a USC professor now, Angela Jenkins, Prisma Health, Zach King, Delray Consulting, Heather Kirby, DHHS, Andrea Mitchell, and Michelle Stanek when Andrea stops taking care of that baby she just is about to have. With the South Carolina Center for Rural and Primary Health, and Julie Smithwick with CCHA. I'd like to invite Zach King and Mata Crawford up to kind of give you updates on our first 2 meetings that we've had. Do you want us to clap for you, Mata?
Of course. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I was responding to you.
I thank you all for coming in this room today because I just happen to be one of those people that they talk about that actually meet families like this. And this is what makes it all worth the work that we put in. And it makes it worth us coming together and continuing to collaborate, because where there's collaboration with groups like you all that's sitting in front of me, it makes it all work. It gives them hope, and hope brings change, and change makes a difference in our communities. So I'm going to give my little report on where we are. That was my 2 cents. So I'm part of the writing group with Zach and our wonderful people that she mentioned previously. We've met the last 2 months to on how we should approach the grant writing processes and clarify our ultimate goal. We have an ultimate goal. I love goals because when we meet them together, we all cross that finish line together. It brings us all across the line to make these things happen for families that are in need. So what we've made progress on, let me put my glasses on because I wrote some things down that I want to make sure I share. So this group's goal is to form a master plan that will last a duration of 3 to 5 years. We didn't want to seem that we want to find out what has been working, to capture that data, capture those successes in our community, and see if we can put them in the community and make them work even better for the next 3 to 5 years. This will be a test project that we'll put in the community that will include key discussions and consensus of the core groups, funding sources to support the plan, which will come from a variety of funders from what I hear. So I hope the funders are in the room because we need you all. We can't do this. We can't make it happen without the funds. I'm telling you, we can't. So we definitely need you all at the table. We definitely need you all to open your hearts and your minds and help us change the things that are going on, because I live in these communities, I serve in these communities, I work in these communities. And so sometimes we're a little bit more removed when we dress up real cute every day, But it takes people like me to connect with people like you to bring it all together to make things like this happen for families like this. So I'm gonna have some little verbatim in the middle. So, but I'm gonna still get it out. The ultimate goal is to develop a demonstrative project with local sites around the state to test infrastructure components, the process, and the financial models that will grow and thrive. We already know some of the great work that we've already done in the communities together, but things do have to change because legislation and the systems that we have in place now do not continue to work. Some of the systems that we have in place now are the old systems. We're living in the now time, like she said, be present in the now. So we have to change and develop over time so that we can capture things that are going on now. We may have needed shoes 6 months ago, and today we need coats. So we don't want to form something 2-3 years ago and now it's not working, especially in our healthcare field, because our health has something to do with everything that touches our lives. These components will include using SDOH screening and referral processes to include case referral management systems with closed referral feedback loop. This will allow people like myself. I'm with a Community Fresh Start, by the way, and the organization is a holistic organization. We look to get people out of crisis situations, regardless of what the challenge may be. We take that opportunity to find the root cause and try to get that family over their challenges and out of just surviving into thriving. All of our families in America could thrive if people like us continue to come together, and at least get them on the pathway of hope of being able to thrive and not always be in a situation where they are facing challenges over and over and over again, like homelessness and food insecurities. It's unbelievable that so many families face that in the state of South Carolina today. So I appreciate you all again for being in the room. This loop will provide a when, where, who, what, and how for our families, where if a family comes to me as a community health worker, I enter their information. Their information goes over a collaborative unit of data collection. When I refer them to the next agency, that agency already knows what I have done for them and what I have anticipated to do for them. Once that person, like this young lady, Melanie, connects with one person, that person will have a feather of resources in the community that she may have to connect with. But we as community health workers will be able to go back in the system and see what assistance she has received, what resources may be available to her in the future. Connect her with those things. Go back into the system and see if she actually made the connection. If she didn't make the connection, find out what her challenge of not connecting with that resource was. Maybe it's something else that we may need to do. Maybe she just needs a birth certificate for a family member and she didn't go and she wasn't able to afford it. Then we'll find her some more resources to face that challenge. But we can put all that data into a system where everybody in the room can go in that system and say, okay, this community health worker is actually doing what they said they were going to do. These are those community-based organizations that do the hard work. I've been in the system doing this work for over 30 years, and so I thank you again. So this way we can find better solutions when the solutions that we have in place now doesn't work. We can say, well, this didn't work for Melanie because of X, Y, and Z. This is the system that she has to deal with, and it's not working for her. Let's go back to the table and change it so the next Melanie that comes through does not face that same challenge. This data and this input is so important because this is the way that we follow our neighbors and make sure they're getting what they need to have. And all of you are into the helping business, so I know you want to help. So keeping and knowing what services were provided, like I said, and being responsible to, this is a responsible, valuable thing that we does. We have to be responsible with people's lives. We have to be held accountable in the positions that we hold in the community so that we can better serve our neighbors. This will involve multiple organizations, the holistic approach. The healthcare systems, the community-based organizations, managed care organizations, and just providing them with a safety net of partners in the community that will get them from point A to point B. We're considering in all of these agencies, we're considering staffing, we're considering the reach into the community to utilize the community health workers more, who have the expertise of connecting the local resources and addressing the social challenges that are present in these people's lives. Of course, none of this can be done or accomplished without the financial model being in place and utilizing and blending, braided, is it blended and braided? Because I just feel like when you braid something together, it's there together. So we're already blended. If we're braided, we're blended. So this to me looks like a lot of different, the blues, the green, the reds, the yellows, the whites, the blacks. It takes it all to braid together to make a strong unit, because when you have a knot that's braided together, it's a strong force. You can take one single strand or two single strands and put them together. Eventually they're going to weigh away because all the weight is only on two. But when you bring 5 and 10 and 15 different organizations together, it's a stronger unit. And that's about building community and building a good connective unit to support families and neighbors in our communities. So I thank you again. Of course, like I said, none of this can be done without us, done without all of us. Key partners being the SCDHHS and managed care organizations, because like I said again, every component that this lady deals with, Melanie deals with, starts with her health, mental, physical, financial. We think health, we only think of the body, but the body can only take so much. So I definitely loved it when you said, let's focus, because let's focus in the here and the now. We have already started the conversation, and SHDHHS will play a critical role in developing a funding mechanisms for testing a plan. Hopefully, through the combined efforts, we can ID the innovative financial mechanisms that can sustain these programs that really work. When I go back home today, I have to go find an apartment for a mom of 3. If it was not for the people that are in these rooms that put these things together for me, I would not have the resources in the community as a community-based or a small community-based organization to be able to reach out and put those resources together for this mom. I am dedicated to have her in a place in 30 days. I cannot allow her to live in a hotel with 3 growing children for the summer. So these are the families that you all help. And this is why the groups that Arnold School puts together, they put these people together, and I'm just one of many that they bring to the table. And I'm honored and I'm gratefully humbled to be a part and to be in this room with you all so that you all can hear what really happens and what you really do. So continue to do what you do. Continue to come together. There is no competition. It's only collaboration. We can't compete with helping people. We can only collaborate with helping people, because collaboration gives hope. When we come together with the blended, with the braiding, everything, when you see the baskets on the side of the road, they're not just pieces of hay thrown together. They're braided together. They're intertwined. They make a stronger base. And then they wrap that little string around that little handle and somebody totes it. I would like to be one of the toters of the blended efforts that you all have in this room. Thank you.
I don't know why I'm here anymore. How do you say any more than that, truthfully? The one anecdote that might change the mood a little bit, when you brought up blending, I had to hold back a little giggle. I have a 2-year-old son who treats a blender like it's his best friend. He talks to it. He has developed a very tight bond with a blender. We make smoothies in the morning. I know everybody's wondering what that means about us, but I do mean what I said. I don't know what else there's to say other than what's been shared this morning. I guess a little bit of logistics, because I'm a firm believer that as we talk about things like alignment and collaboration and relationship, and as we talk about rebuilding systems with love, we can leave today and not hold ourselves accountable to that. It's very easy to feel good about all of our fun words that we use. And what I'm really privileged to do as we walk alongside one another and taking this work forward is to recognize where we've listened. So hopefully, as y'all heard the overview that was just given, you heard feedback that's come out of the last, large chunk of time of Zoom calls and phone calls and follow-up meetings. We know and feel in our own lives that making this matter is critical. We know that this is not the first time a big collaborative initiative has happened in our state. We love all of our acronyms and see a lot of those players in the room, but I think that what I feel and what I sense in the energy in this room is that we can't not do something next. And by do something, I mean actually hold each other and ourselves accountable to rebuilding, restructuring, and reimagining systems that center around lack of competition, but an enhanced sense of collaboration, that lift up the fact that relationship building in our state can be sticky, but it's also one of our best strengths. Recognizing that in communities, when we talk about systems, we're not just talking about these like big structures with big acronyms. We're talking about people. Y'all are a system. Y'all are community members. The folks that you are going home to today are also that. So we're talking about ourselves here. So let's get to it, right? I'm here to mention, I guess, an example or two of what alignment might look like. So one of the ways that we've listened to this group is really to put into practice the idea of aligning and to support one another. And so one example of that has been kind of coming alongside with the work coming out of the cores and some work that the Center for Rural and Primary Healthcare is convening and collaborating that we are calling CHC, or Collaborative Health Communities right now. The premise of this model, with more to come, is to reimagine what the accountable care communities model looks like in other places through a rural South Carolina reality, not just a lens, but really developed, co-developed with communities who are serving the needs of their people every day. And learning from that genius and wisdom. So more to come, but what that really looks like in practice is to wrap around people that are interacting with our healthcare systems, our social systems, our resources that are in communities, learn from them, provide support so that kind of full circle dream can come true, but also learn as a state on how we can make that better, grow that beyond just a pilot. So stay tuned. One of the beautiful kind of cross-pollination pieces, or what really speaks to alignment, and what I really think makes the point around the right people being in relationship at the right time, is that a lot of those folks that have been participating in that working group are in this room too. Pam is there, Michelle and Andrea, Megan, all sorts of CRPH folks and staff and partners, Dr. Barabel, the Office of Rural Health, SCHA. Where's Cindy New? Cindy New goes to every meeting in the state. Thank you, Cindy. So just recognizing that cross-pollination and collaboration is not just a technical activity, but it's a relationship. And so we're really excited about that. I'm turning it back over. And right, yeah, cool.
I guess I should have said it all in the beginning, huh? Okay, so, did I? Okay. So the core agreement, so I guess I have some notes that I have to go ahead and let you all know about. So the core agreement that we shouldn't try to reinvent the wheel, but to build on what has already worked locally and to change the things, just like a flat tire. If the tire is flat, you can't go very far, and you're gonna ruin your rim. You're gonna press your brakes out. You might have an accident. Things just don't work when you're running on a flat tire. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we're trying to change it. When we go into rooms and talk to legislators and we're talking about systems that no longer work for our families, this is the work that we're challenged to do right now. Some of the questions, I'm going to give you some of the, using some of the data that we've already collected and that we have a lot of synergy behind right now, is children, like she said, families with children 0 to 5, addressing behavior and mental health issues. We all know that since the pandemic, we all suffer a little something. I think I have PTSD from just being in the house so long, and PTSD from figuring out what to eat now that I'm not locked in the house anymore, because we gained about 20 pounds, I think. So I had to go back to eating fruits and vegetables, and I was like, it's not working for me. I don't understand. And also the maternity and infant mortality rate in South Carolina is very disturbing. Our infant mortality rate is very disturbing in South Carolina, so you all stay on it. And the data shows it, that in the last 5 or 10 years, our rates are terrible. And that's one thing that we don't want to be the top of the list on in South Carolina. Mental health well-being overall is important, because I mean, just going through childbirth and pandemics and life stressors is enough, and sometimes we're not in a great mental place. So we need to talk about that. To stay focused, we continue to ask ourselves the questions. Do these decisions that we set in these groups and make, and the steps of moving forward, do these things? Embody the experiences and the perspective for those who have been or will be affected. Sometimes we make decisions with our pens. Sometimes we just take the data that's on paper. But sometimes we need to consider the people that our choices have already affected and the people that it will affect. They're not in the room today, but I'll talk for them. Yes, I will. We also want to understand if our decisions lead us to the policies and system changes that we want and need to achieve our goal. Does it contribute to the dismantling of structural inequalities? We want to tear that down. Are we exclusive, open, and authentic? I think I'm inclusive. I think I'm open, and I think I'm very authentic, and that's all I can bring to you. I cannot cover who I am. I won't cover who I am, because who I am is where I've been. Where I've been is who I am. And I came from the very place that Melody came from. So I bring that authentic, open, and inclusive voice into the room to speak for the people that I serve. Are we using the data to make these decisions? Let's collect the real data, not only the statistics, but let's get the data from the people. Let's put it in there. Let's evaluate that thing. Let's blend it up. I like blending smoothies too. You can bring me a smoothie next time I see you. Okay.
I got you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the blending, we put 5 or 6 things in there together and blend it up, and we come up with a beautiful recipe. We can sprinkle the top with whatever, but what do we put on the insides of structure? What do we put on the inside of infrastructure for smaller organizations that are getting your dollars to the people that need it and are holding themselves accountable and responsible? That's what we're working on, in changing the systems that are not very equal to everybody, especially women that look like me. So I thank you again for being here today. I thank you again for all your input, all your hard work, because everybody in this room has had a part in this story that Melanie told today. So I want you all to give yourself a hand. I'm going to turn it back over to Eric, and we're going to go sit down.
Yeah, we'll sit after this, we promise. So the logistics, Pam mentioned earlier, the group that's been brought together, we are kind of leaning on the wisdom and expertise that the cores have brought over the next 3 to 4 months to say, what does this ultimate plan look like logistically? How do we take these great ideas and put them into tangible things that can be funded and implemented and change the world? I will say, my last note, other than the logistics, other than saying thank you to CARE for leading and facilitating this work. If you have questions, call Pam and Janisha. That was a note. Our lives are full. Our lives are busy with Zoom calls and meetings and budgets and staffing issues and family life and existential crises that have come over the last 3 years. But if you ever catch yourself wondering why you're here, why we're continuing to move this conversation forward, it's because we're worth it. Not in a self-serving way. I think all of you are worth it too. But the sisters in our communities who are raising their siblings are worth it. The Black women in our communities who are facing crises when it comes to their health and how our systems treat them, especially when they're giving birth. The histories that have led to Indigenous, immigrant, and Black people in our communities not being listened to and heard needs to change, and that history deserves to be reckoned with in our systems. And that we can do all of that from a place of love. Ms. Phillips, I love the idea of making it irresistible. I think we don't use words that kind of encourage creativity a lot. I think we speak very technically sometimes in our spaces, but I just want to remind folks that the next time we question the bullet point on the proposal, or the next time we question, another Zoom meeting, or do I have time on a Monday in the summer, you do. Because you're here, and you do because our state's worth it, our people are worth it, and we thank y'all for that wisdom. Now we'll sit down, right? Cool. I was like, you're in charge.
You see why we asked them to be a part of this? They're amazing. All right, we want to do a quick celebration. I want to recognize those individuals who've served on our course, okay? A significant chunk of our time was visioning to create this illustration. So on the front of your pamphlets is this. And this was what the visioning from our core members came to life to be this. And we're very excited about this because we see this as the guiding star for our work. And so we are presenting this to each of our core members today. They designed it, and they deserve a nice copy of it to take to their organization and not only remind them of the good work that they have done, but also to remind them of the work we need to continue to do. So first I want to start with our co-chairs. Y'all, I can't tell you how much I appreciate these ladies. They not only were part of the core, but attended additional meetings with us on a monthly basis and always had their phone line open, texting, whatever. And I said this at the fall forum, and I'll say it again. They've done everything we've asked of them. And one of them that we really asked for them was to be candid and direct and to serve as our support system and our sounding board. And I just can't thank them enough. And so not all of them could be here today, but I do want to introduce the ones that are here. So Vicki Young, who is with our admin core. Naomi Lett is also with our admin core. Come on up, Vicki. Summer T-Balt. Cheers, Naomi. Carrie Rothschild with our programmatic core. And Renee Lanyard-Gary, who couldn't make it today. And Melissa Fair with the data core. Yay, Melissa is here. And then Summer T-Balt, who couldn't make it. So these amazing people have just been so helpful, and we appreciate them so much. Now they're going to help us recognize our core members. Do you have a list? Okay. All right. So this just tells you a little bit more about those that kind of what their roles each core was focused on over the past year and a half. But let's head on, and we'll go to the first list of our, what are we hitting first? Admin core?
Data core.
Data core. All right. So I'm going to run through them, and Lauren is going to help y'all hand out the things so y'all can go up there and help. Okay, thank you. Remember, I'm putting y'all to work. You're not done yet. So, all right. So I would like to read the names of our data core members real quickly. So John Mark Bell, Chandra Beasley, Kevin Bennett, Sarah Crawford, Ana Lopez DeFede, Kathy Easley, Cobra Ektaderi, Tracy Golden, Michelle Josie, Heather Kirby. I'm sorry, I should have said, y'all can go, get up, stand up. So, and they will walk and bring you your copy. Annika Moonen, Samantha Renaud, Darren Thomas, Stacy Seipel, Jameson's, I don't even know how to pronounce Jameson's last name, Sofji? He's gonna kill me. And Joshua Selner. So let's thank our data core members. Administrative core. So we've got Graham Adams, Kathleen Brady, Greg Barable, Carla Buru, Brendan Buttermer, Nick Davidson, Jordan Desai, Carrie Draper, Brian Grady, Angela Jenkins, Zach King, Michael Leach, Melanie Matney, Maya Pack, Lori Phillips, Trisha Richardson, Monty Robertson, Ome Ramtula, and Juana Slade. We'll give them. And then last but not least, our programmatic core, Rashonda Abrams, Bruce Bailey, Eric Bellamy, Angel Bordon, Mike Darrow, Ann Gowdy, Paula Gutierrez, Andrea Hayward, Jaleesa Jordan, Louise Johnson, Darlene Lynch, Maria Martin, Stacy McPhail, Cindy New, Vanessa Gongora. Oh, I left some of our admin core names off, sorry. Suzanne Sanders, Amy Split-Gerber, Megan Weiss, and Susan Witkowski. We'll give them a round of applause. And Julie Smithwick, Don't Kill Me, Emily Susky, Beverly Wilson, and Christian Sora also helped. They were on the next page, and I missed their name. So again, I want to give all the core members just a real big round of applause and say thank you, thank you, thank you.